Welcome to Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Pam, Western Maine edition, where we spotlight the people, businesses, and stories shaping communities in Western Maine towns, from Oxford, Norway, South Paris, West Paris, and beyond. We're expanding the conversation and keeping the same mission, highlighting the people making a difference in our region. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
Today's show is brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 4 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's. Also by DeBlois Electric, building lasting relationships since 1967. From homes to businesses, their licensed, fully trained technicians handle it all. Repairs, upgrades, standby generators, EV chargers, heat pumps, and more. No job is too big and no job is too small. Learn more at DeBloiselectric.com.
Coming up in just a little bit, you will hear our interview with David and Ollie, or Ollie and David. I think the dog gets top billing. I think it's Ollie and David's. Oxford Hills Mercantile out in South Paris. And this was a great conversation we had. What a passionate individual David is. I know you've met him.
I have, yeah. It's always a great conversation talking with David, and I can't wait to hear it because I wasn't there. You and JC interviewed him. So
that's right. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to hang out with Ollie, who I think I told you would be a great playmate for Lydia.
They would just like, hey, look at my ball. Yeah. No, look at my ball, and wag their tail.
My ball's green. Okay. Well, my ball's blue.
Let's lay down now.
So David is just a passionate individual, cares deeply about his community, and his store is something like I have never seen before in my life.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Amazing.
Especially when it's themed out during the holidays. It's just, it brings you back. It reminds me of the orphan Annies we have right here in Auburn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. I love all the things in there. So many different things. Bakery items and the coffee, and just looking around at the eclectic collection of things he has. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's like a bonus. I mean, there are treasures in every corner of that building, and then you get to have all this great tea and coffee and baked goods as well.
Yeah, he was in our autumn issue of LA Metro Magazine in our recipe story, and he shared his recipe on Pizzelli's. I think that's how you say it, Pizzelli cookies. And they were delicious. I was able to sample one. So good. So all the other things he has there is pretty tasty as well.
They looked awesome. So you're going to hear that interview coming up here in just a bit. But before we get there, let's take a look at some headlines from Monday, February 23rd.
Governor Mills has ordered all state of Maine offices to close today due to a powerful nor'easter expected to bring heavy snow and strong winds to the region. Parking bans are in effect for Lewiston and Auburn.
Maine's U.S. senators weighed in following Friday's 6-3 Supreme Court ruling against the White House's sweeping tariffs. Susan Collins said the ruling, quote, reaffirms that only Congress has the constitutional authority to impose tariffs, and the president can only do so under a clear and limited delegation of authority from Congress. Angus King said, quote, the Supreme Court maintains the constitutional guardrails preventing overreach from the other 2 branches of federal government. This is the core definition of checks and balances.
The town of Sabattis announced that Jeff Goss will serve as interim police chief. The town is considering its options since the resignation of former chief Dave Lyons, who lasted about 2 months on the job. Goss is the former chief of the Mechanic Falls PD and retired last summer. The select board will discuss its policing future at its next meeting on March 3rd.
And the special election between Janet Bowden and Scott Harriman for State House District 94 will be held tomorrow at the Longley School in Lewiston at 145 Birch Street. District 94 represents parts of Lewiston wards 2, 3, 4, and 5. The election is only open to voters in those districts. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now it's time for the weather.
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
Do we have to?
I think we should skip it today. Let's skip the weather.
I knew we weren't over winter. I knew we still had some storms coming, but nor'easters, really?
No.
A winter storm warning is in effect as snow and wind are on their way. Snow will begin around 11 a.m. and last throughout the day. 3 to 6 inches is expected. We'll have a high of 26 and a low of 22. Cloudy skies give way to sunshine tomorrow. High of 27 with a low of 8. More snow is on the way for Wednesday with 2 to 4 more inches of accumulation. High of 28 and a low of 5. Ugh.
In sports, in the men's hockey gold medal game at the Winter Olympics, Jack Hughes scored the golden goal in overtime, giving Team USA a 2-1 win over Canada. It was the USA's first hockey gold medal since the 1980 Miracle on Ice. Did you watch it?
I watched the beginning of it, and I did not. I ended up coming in here to work.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there complaining about the 8 a.m. start time. And I'm like, it's the Olympics, man. The Olympics are weird. They're always, most of the time they're in other countries. And if you want to see it live, just suck it up.
I know. I mean, obviously it's not an ideal time for us or Canada, really.
Right.
So.
Right.
But, I mean, what do you do? It's in a different country. That's how it lined up. And
get out of bed, fix a coffee, enjoy the game.
Yeah.
My goodness. The U.S. collected the second most medals of the games with 12 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze for a total of 33. Norway topped the charts with 41.
Jaylen Brown's 32 points led the Celtics over the LA Lakers, 111-89. Boston will visit the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night.
Following the Olympic break, the Bruins return to action on Thursday night. They will host the Columbus Blue Jackets at 7 p.m.
Weather permitting, the NA3 Nordiques will host the Binghamton Buzz this afternoon at 2 p.m. and tomorrow at 1 p.m. in Auburn.
The Maine Nordiques will host the Danbury Hat Tricks on Friday and Saturday in Auburn.
The Lewiston Maniacs have a home-and-home series against the Northern Maine Pioneers this weekend. They'll be in Presque Isle on Friday and in Lewiston on Saturday.
Bates College basketball advanced to the NESCAC semifinals. Both games are on Saturday. The men's team will visit Wesleyan at 2 p.m., and the women's team will visit Amherst at 4:30.
In the Yankee Small College Conference Basketball Championship, Caitlin McCoy scored 14 points, Brianna Dyer added 13, and Ava Smith 12 to lead the Central Maine Community College women's team over UMaine Augusta 67-57. It was the 9th straight YSCC title for the Mustangs, who earned an automatic bid to the USCAA National Championships in Buffalo, New York. The men's team fell to Southern Maine Community College in the semifinals, 82-68.
That women's team is just a juggernaut.
Right.
They've been dominant for a decade.
Quite the word there, juggernaut.
Yeah, not bad for a Monday, right? That is your news, weather, and sports. And right now it's time for the podcast segment. That is Sweeping the Twin Cities. That sounded pretty good for just two people. It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for February 23rd, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to start off with Dakota Fanning, who is 32 years old today. She starred in the miniseries Taken in 2002, and she also starred in Uptown Girls in 2003, and the one I remember most distinctly, Man on Fire, in 2004, where she starred with Denzel Washington.
Yes, I do remember that
What
one.
a great movie that was. She was in Ocean's 8 in 2018 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and The Equalizer, where she reunited with Denzel Washington in 2023.
Very cool.
Emily Blunt is 43 years old today. She was in Gideon's Daughter and The Devil Wears Prada.
Love that movie.
And her portrayal of Catherine Oppenheimer in Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer that came out 3 years ago earned her a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
Have you seen it?
I have not. I heard it's great.
I tried watching it on a plane. It was so long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a Christopher Nolan movie. They're usually like 3 or 4 days long. Emily has been working with the American Institute for Stuttering since 2006 to help children overcome stuttering through educational resources and raise awareness of the realities of the condition. Niecy Nash is 57 years old today. You might remember her as Deputy Rainisha Williams in the comedy series Reno 911. That ran from 2003 to 2009, and then they revived it in 2020 for a couple of years.
Of course they did.
Of course they did. It had some success. Why not bring it back? TV personality Damon John is 57 years old today. He's one of the sharks from Shark Tank. And he's also the president and CEO and founder of FUBU,
All right.
which is a clothing line. And I believe FUBU stands for Us, By Us. Actor Mark Price is 58 years old today. You might remember him as Skippy Handelman on Family Ties.
Maybe, but I don't.
You don't. And he also, and now I believe he's doing stand-up comedy because it was about a year ago that he performed at Great Falls Comedy Club.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Freaking Skippy out there.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I remember Leonard talking about that.
Singer Howard Jones, 71 years old today. His debut studio album, Humans Lib, came out in 1984 and reached number 1 on the UK albums chart. And his big hit, No One Is to Blame, reached number 4 on the US charts. Brad Whitford of Aerosmith, 74 years old today. He's the guy who's not Joe Perry that plays guitar for Aerosmith.
I am like, I know Aerosmith,
Yeah.
but I have never heard the name Brad Whitford before.
Yep. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Aerosmith in 2001.
Good for him.
And good for him. Look at that guy doing stuff with his
Yeah.
life. And rounding out FPBs is Patricia Richardson, who is 75 years old today. She played Jill Taylor on the sitcom Home Improvement, opposite Tim Allen. That's all I remember from that show.
I don't remember much.
Yeah, the show's
I
not
just
funny.
remember the neighbor peeking over the fence.
That's right.
So creepy.
Yeah. Those are your FPBs. Now it's time for some OTDs. It happened on this day. It happened on this day. It happened on this day.
We still love that jingle, don't we?
It's the best.
Yeah.
From what I hear from myself.
13 years ago in 2013, the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2 won Worst Picture at the Razzle Awards, and Rihanna won Worst Supporting Actress. Oh, let's see. 23 years ago in 2003, Norah Jones won Best New Artist at the 45th Grammy Awards, and 4 other awards, including Album of the Year for Come Away With Me and Song of the Year for Don't Know Why.
Well, have yourself a year,
Yeah.
Norah Jones.
2003 was good for her.
Yeah.
That was a great song.
Did you want to sing it?
No.
Okay.
26 years ago, in the year 2000, Christina Aguilera won Best New Artist at the 42nd Grammy Awards. Santana won Album of the Year for Supernatural. Keeping with the music theme, 27 years ago, in 1999, Eminem released the Slim Shady LP.
You're a big Eminem fan.
I do love Eminem. Yeah, I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
48 years ago. This is the year I was born, so that means I'm going to be 48 this year. Ugh, man, what happened? In 1978, there was a tie for Song of the Year. There's a lot of music themes here.
Yeah, it's a lot of Grammy stuff.
There was a tie for Song of the Year at the 20th Grammy Awards. For some reason, they couldn't choose between Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life and Barbra Streisand's Evergreen, which was the love theme to the 1977 version of A Star Is Born. 86 years ago in 1940, Woody Guthrie wrote, This Land Is Your Land,
Awesome tune.
and this land is my land.
This land was made for you and me.
99 years
Did you
ago.
just get goosebumps just now, or was that me?
That was just you.
Oh, okay.
Or it's the breeze from the door. 99 years ago in 1927, President Calvin Coolidge signed a bill creating the Federal Radio Commission, now known as the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. The name changed in 1934.
Those are your FPBs and OTDs for February the 23rd.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Hi, it's Donna Harris from Phoenix No Limits Karate here with your daily safety tip. When walking, face oncoming traffic, be alert and aware of your surroundings. Let's all do our best to keep our community safe.
And now we will take you out to Western Maine for our interview with David Robichaud and Ollie from Oxford Hills Mercantile. Mark and JC taking the show on the road to Western Maine, and we are at Ollie and David's. I've only been here a couple of minutes, and I can't stop looking around. This is an amazing place. David, what can you tell us about this location and what it's all about?
Well, we're located in South Paris, Maine, and 9 Market Square, right at the major intersection where even comedians have been done stints on the traffic and yelling and beeping and anything. But we're right there, right at the heart of it. So, and our store is about vintage home goods. We have a coffee bar. We do coffees and pastries that we make every day. We also have just introduced fresh sourdough bread to our menu. We're just about 2.5 years old. I actually moved here 3 years ago in May, opened the business the following September. So we celebrated 3 Christmases this year, but it's actually just 2.5 years in business. Actually, the name of the business is Oxford Hills Mercantile.
Gotcha.
And but people know us as Ollie and David's. And Ollie is my partner, and he's my dog. He's an English Springer Spaniel.
We should get that out of the way.
Yeah. And he is the greeter. Everybody knows him. Actually, people just really know me as Ollie's dad. No one really knows my name. It's just, there's Ollie's dad.
Yeah.
So
I had the pleasure of meeting Ollie when I came in. He's got a tennis ball ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Actually, he was pretty quiet when you came in. Usually he talks when most people come in. So.
Okay. Well, he didn't know me, so he's being cautious, I guess. But Ollie's going to be pretty popular around here.
Yes, he is. He has a big following. Besides the pastries that we make that we sell every day with the coffee bar, we also make a line of dog biscuits called Ollie's Treats, and they're an all-natural dog biscuit, and they're peanut. There's Ollie. You could tell I said treat. They're pumpkin and whole wheat flour, egg, water, peanut butter. Yeah. That's it. You can eat them. They're all wholesome stuff. So, and I'm working on a kitty treat too because my cats are feeling a little left out. But they're a little bit more difficult to make to come up with a good cat treat because they have to be a small kind of kibble thing. But I'm working on that.
Great.
What inspired you to kind of open this up? Was it?
Well, I've been in the retail and design business most of my life. My original background was as a floral designer, which eventually led into doing interior design. I do landscape design, and now I tend to specialize more in space planning. But also I've always been into antiques ever since I was young. But I kind of wanted to do something that would leave a kinder imprint on our ecology and everything. And so we do vintage things here that we repurpose into new things. We also do have antique furniture and carpets and lighting and things like that as well. But our focus is really on vintage and repurposing, reusing items, and giving them a new life, and hopefully kind of be the antiques of tomorrow. And so
seems like you're doing a great job of that. Everything in here is beautiful.
Well, and I moved here also. Came here from the coast. I had a business in Camden, Rockland, Rockport area for many years, and I was looking for some place that because the coastal communities have gotten very tourist and transient as they tend to do over time. And the sense of community has kind of wavered there. It's just there's so many people from away, and they're not there very long. So I was looking for some place that had a little bit more sense of community. Also, that was a little bit more economically diverse and a little bit more age demographically diverse. I said, I'm getting old. I don't want to be surrounded by old people all the time. So then here, there's a lot of young people in the business, especially the coffee bar. With pastries and stuff, I get a lot of young people that come in for coffee and tea and things like that. We also have an apothecary section that we sell bulk teas and herbs and smudges and things like that for the house. So that brings in a lot of younger people, and it also gives me then an opportunity to educate them on vintage and repurposing and how important it is, to try to keep things out of the landfill and reuse, and having something from grandma is really not so bad.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Can you expand on that a little bit, on your passion for vintage items and repurposing them?
For me, the repurposing part of it is I value everything that I have, everything that I collect generally tells me a story, where it's come from. I kind of will pick up on a vibe that a piece has and get a sense of how it was used and the history of it. And we're so quick to be this disposable society right now. And by leaving these things just go to the landfill, it just seems like such a waste when it's taken years and years for it to become the item that it is today. And we can continue that on if we just repurpose it, resalvage it, make it into something that's more current. And it can be anything from a piece of furniture to, I have candles downstairs we sell that are in recycled wine bottles, and that are made from other recycled candles and products. We also have soaps that are from over in Rockland area that the young people that do that, they raise all their own herbs, they make all their own oils, they make this all by hand. So things like that I think are real important to if we're going to survive as a society, and so that's why it's important. My interest in vintage and antique has been since I was young, so I've always collected, and I like living with those things.
Yeah. Do you remember what started that?
My first item I ever bought, I'm originally from Michigan and grew up in the UP of Michigan, up in northern Michigan, and I went to an auction in my hometown. I was still in high school, working at my grandparents' at a grocery store, and I went to an auction and they had a set of brown and white dishes that I just thought were so cool, and I ended up spending money and buying them, and it was I don't know, several blocks from where my grandparents' grocery store. By the time I got to the grocery store, my grandmother had already heard that I had spent money on old dishes, and she immediately let me know if I wanted old dishes, she would give me old dishes out of the pantry, that I didn't need to go and spending money on them. But that was kind of my first real antique that I bought, and just kind of snowballed from there. And I've gone through many levels of antiques, from very primitive to very formal, from French and English. English is my favorite. I love English country is my style that I like, but French is very popular in decorating, and it mixes into a contemporary as well as vintage. So
yeah. Are you an appraiser?
I can do some appraising, but I don't have a license to appraise. I did work and manage an auction company for a couple years over on the coast, so I've worked a lot with high-end antiques and art and things like that. But I have not gone to school for it, and I don't have an extensive knowledge to be able to call myself an appraiser. I can give you an idea, what something is worth. And I do have a lot of people that bring me things. It's the same story. My kids don't want this. I have an attic or a garage full of stuff. What am I going to do with it? And so they'll bring me things and ask me, advice, or if I'm interested, or, is it worth anything, and that kind of thing. And unfortunately, good period stuff is still worth a lot of money, but most brown furniture and vintage stuff isn't worth a whole lot. And but it is worth repurposing and making into something new and something more purposeful for now.
What are you hearing, David, from first-time visitors to your store?
We love the dog and the cats. I have 2 cats also. And then they'll get around it. I think because the Mercantile name says that we have a variety of things, which we do. And so when people walk in, I also have a background in display. I've worked for a lot of big department stores. And so the store is displayed nicely. There's a lot of things in the store, but yet you can maneuver and has themes. And I think people just are overwhelmed with how much is here, and they're surprised to see a store of this level in this area as well. I don't think that they're accustomed to seeing that. A lot of people are like, "Oh, this looks like we should be in Boston, or it should be in New York someplace." But it's really not. I try to appeal to everyone, every age level, also every economic level. I want people to know they can come in and spend $5 or they can spend $500. It doesn't matter. Or they can just come in and say hello, have a cup of coffee. And I do get a lot of locals that come in and have coffee and chat and hang out, which that's great, because that's what I love the best, is that we've become part of the community, and the community feels comfortable coming and being part of this. We do a farmers market in the summertime. It'll start towards the end of June. That is, again, something that's community based. So we have, and this year it'll be a combination farmers market and peddlers market, because I do have a lot of craftspeople. And so if there's any farmers or craftspeople out there that are interested in joining our market, to contact me. We'll be starting towards the last Thursday in June, which I believe was the 25th, is when will be our first one. It's every Thursday afternoon, June through September, and it's from 2 to 6 in the afternoon. And then we also do other activities. The room that we're sitting in right now doing the podcast is kind of our function room. It's appointed with a lot of antiques and lamps, and everything is for sale up here, but we also use it as a function room. At Christmas, I had Sunday afternoon high tea for the holidays, which were very successful. Just recently, I committed to 3 afternoons on Sundays. Over the next 3 months, we're going to have a coffee house jazz afternoon, and so we have a little jazz combo, and we'll have coffee and pastries and probably some kind of soft drink or whatever. But people can come, hang out, listen to jazz, but it will be a ticketed event, so you will have to buy tickets and to come, and it'll probably be on Sunday afternoon from probably about 3 to 6.
What a wonderful asset to this community this building is, and you are as well.
Thank you. Yeah, the building's been here a long, long time. It was built in 1852 and was originally built as a mercantile general store. And they also used to have horse stables in the back and carriage repair and things like that. So it's got a long history, and back when it was a mercantile, they sold everything from baby chicks to crackers to underwear to, everything, ties, clothes. It was just how the old stores. And we have wonderful pictures. We're fortunate to have pictures from that time when it was outfitted, so you can come in and view those.
How would you describe this community, David, and how you've been received here? I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but
the community has been extremely supportive, and I moved here not knowing anyone. I knew a few people from distant past, but I really didn't know anyone, and just kind of was looking for a place, and this building came up several times in my scope looking for stuff, and so I finally came to look at it, and it was in the budget that I was looking for, and I felt would be a great vessel to house everything that I wanted to curate and put in here. And it has. It's a wonderful sense of a store, a mercantile, a building that, this has been its life all along. And and the community itself, Paris Hill up on the historical part is right up my alley, all the old homes and Hannibal Hamlin's house and all that. I've got a lot of good friends up there now, lots of friends supporting the store, as well as worked here, help out during different functions that we do. And like I said, the young people have been supportive. I do get a lot of Sunday River, Mount Abrams traffic now in the wintertime, headed back and forth from Boston to New York and things like that. So that's been nice. But locally, as a community, people have been really, really supportive. I'm on the planning board which is some good and some bad, but it's
That's a different podcast, right?
Yeah. That's a fine line to walk back and forth across. But, so I try to be part of the community. They have a lot of wonderful community activities that I try to participate in, from Founders Day to all that kind of stuff here. So, and even the monthly suppers, I'm always try to go and bring something and just try to. I think you get out of a community what you put into it, and so I try to participate, and and I want to see the communities survive, and everything has to go through change at some time, and Paris is going through some major changes right now, and we kind of all are responsible to help guide that happen in a way that we want it to, and not just sit back and then complain about it afterwards.
Right. Well said. When you walk through this building, David, is this what you envisioned when you first started here?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's always evolving, so it changes. Right now, you still see remnants of Christmas and everything hanging around, but that took a while to put out, and it'll take a while to put away. So, I always have a basic vision when I go in, but then it evolves as time, and I kind of adapt to what the needs, of the area are, or what inspires me. I also make a lot of things. I like to make. I'm a florist by trade and event planner. So, but I love making and creating things out of vintage. And the one thing right now, time-wise, it's difficult to try to do both. The stores takes a lot of time. It's large, and so I don't get as much of an opportunity, but I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to get myself a little more free time to, because people respond real quickly to things I make, and so I'm conscious of that.
Yeah, I'm curious now. What types of items do you make?
Oh, I do everything. I mean, for one thing, I do floral designs and make floral arrangements. I do custom things for people. I also do a lot of gardening. I do outside pot gardening. I like to teach people how to container garden and things like that. I do birdhouses that I create. We use old lumber, like from old floorboards and things from cottages that we create the birdhouse, and then I'll cover them with all kinds of natural material from birch and lichens, and then I'll use a lot of metalware on them and hardware that I pick up all over, just vintage stuff off doors and hinges and knobs and things like that. I also do large mirrors that I'll cover with bark and natural product. Lighting, make different lighting out of different products. You'll notice a lot of our lighting is all custom made for the store, and it's all out of, again, repurposed items like tea cans and teapots and we do a lot of instruments like clarinets and things like that we have lamps made out of. So then that kind of keeps it kind of interesting and unique to the store.
Is that something that you've kind of always been interested into since you were younger?
Yeah. I also am a musician. I also play piano, and I used to sing and stuff like that. So I'm always drawn to musical instruments and musical items, and I love using them in design and, just sitting around. I don't care if you play them or not. I just, like you'll notice up here, I've got a bass sitting in the corner. I've got a grand piano. I do play piano, so we do have a grand piano here, but like horn lamps and tubas and just stuff sitting around that I find, enhances. And I've learned over the years, for me, decorating's all about layering, and it just takes time to create the vibe that someone may want in their home. And it's hard to get a client to understand that it takes not just money, but it takes years to accomplish, what they feel when they walk in here. But I've been collecting and layering this for a long, long time. Even though this is fairly new, I've been collecting all my life. And so much of this is from my collections and things that I've collected over the years. And so the sense of, I hope that people feel peace and comfort when they come in, is because these items all tell a story and come from different aspects of life, and now they've all come together here and tell a new story. And I hope people get the sense of that.
Can you talk about a couple of the most unique items in this store?
The collection of things upstairs here are actually, a lot of them are from an estate that was in downtown New York, a customer and friend who passed away this past summer. A lot of the items came from his home. He was a fashion designer and a model for Bonwit and Teller back in the day, like 40 years ago. And a lot of the items you see here are things that back in those days, the department stores like Saks and Bonwit's and the big department stores, they would import antique items from Europe to use as display pieces throughout. So they were buying, years ago, they were buying actual period pieces and stuff and shipping them over on containers. Then when they were done with them in the store, they went in the warehouse, and then they would have these big warehouse sales that neighborhoods, employees, whoever wanted to buy them would buy them for next to nothing. And now, here they sit today in their actual, French and English period pieces. But they came through him. He worked for the department store, and he collected a lot of these things. And his apartment in New York this is just a small smattering of what he had there. Yeah. And so I've been very fortunate to work with his family and acquire some of the pieces and that. So they have a great history. So to me, these are very unique because they are a great example of showing how things pass through time and the different uses that they've gone through, and now they end up here in my store, and they could be in your home.
David, could you tell us once again where you're located and where folks can go online to learn more about your store?
Okay, so we're located at 9 Market Square, and we're in South Paris, Maine. We're right at the main intersection where 26 and 117, 119 all come together. So, you can find us. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We also have our a website, which is, you can either go to Ollie and David's or you can go to Oxford Hills Mercantile, and it will take you to our website. On our website, you'll find a description about the store and things that we do and things that we have, but we also have a special happenings page on the website, and it will tell you any activities that we have coming up, such as the farmers market or the coffee house jazz or tea. We may be doing a tea for Mother's Day. Haven't quite committed to that yet, and it'll be similar to what we did at Christmas time. And then we also have, if you're in the store and you want to join, and you also on our website you can add your email, and we send out email blasts from time to time, again letting you know what's going on in the store, what might be coming up, functions and things like that.
Wonderful. And for folks looking to put a face with the voice, you can pick up a copy of the autumn issue of LA Metro Magazine, because David was in that one, right?
Yes, I was.
Yes,
yeah.
And you had some wonderful cookies.
Yes, I was sharing a recipe from my great-grandmother. I'm Italian and French by background. This happened to be from my Italian grandmother when they were pizzelle cookie, but my grandmother made a particular filling to make them like a sandwich cookie. And so we shared that recipe in the magazine. And
they look delicious.
Yeah.
I wish I was there that day. I would have made them disappear pretty quick.
Dirigo Federal Credit Union is proud to call Lewiston Auburn home. Whether you're buying a house, saving for the future, or growing your business, we're here for you, right where you live. Visit dirigofcu.com and feel the difference of a credit union that truly knows LA.
David, before we wrap up, there is one final segment we like to do at the end of every podcast, which is called 3 Random Questions, where JC and I will ask you questions that have nothing to do with your store. We're just trying to get to know you a little better. You good with that?
Sure.
All right. If you don't like a question...
If you're good with the answer.
If you don't like a question, you can just say pass. We'll think of something else. But I'll start. What is your favorite way to unwind after a busy day?
My favorite way to unwind is just to come upstairs. I live above the business, so that can be good or bad. Right now it's been pretty good. So I have got a nice apartment. For me, just to come to unwind, to sit down with my dog, with the cats for a little bit, and sit quietly and not be... because all day I pretty much converse with people, and so I like just to have some quiet, chill time.
You're all talked out at the end of the day,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Did Ollie's ball get stuck under
see,
there?
that's his way of telling me you're not paying attention to me, Dad.
It's unacceptable.
Yes, this is supposed to be about me.
Ollie's like, I've heard my name several times.
Yeah.
All right. If you could have one ability, what would it be? Something like invisibility, or if you could read minds, or
Like a superpower kind of deal?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I just would wish that I had. I tend to be an emotional kind of guy, so I wish I would have the power to make people realize how important it is to be kind to one another.
that would be a good one. I think the world would need that.
I don't know if we need a third question.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can top that answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask it anyways, David, because of my own curiosity. Putting your professional skills aside, what could you teach someone to do today with 100% certainty?
Make a bow.
Make a what?
Make a bow.
A bow.
Yes, and all my design classes, didn't matter if it was floral design or whatever. At one point in my career, I used to teach a lot of classes. The one thing everyone always wanted to know was, can you show us how to make a bow? Because I do these big Christmas bows and bows on things, and I've got that down to a science.
Awesome. All right. David, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time
You
today.
didn't expect that, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't expect for you to have it like that. Usually people think about that one, but you knew. It's like you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
David, again, thanks so much for your
thank you.
time. This is an amazing, amazing building, and congratulations on your success as well.
Thank you.
Thanks to Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and DeBlois Electric for sponsoring today's episode. If you're a business or nonprofit here in the Western Maine area and would love to join us on Lydia's Lunch Bunch, I'd love to connect with you. You can reach me directly at jacey@lydiamediallc.com. That's JACEY@lydiamediallc.com.
Have a great day, and remember, don't bite your cat. And I will say I have bitten my cat.